I remember not that long ago looking from these stairs down here and thinking to myself, someday I'll look down there and I'll see a lot of aquariums. And at the time, when it was just just an empty room, it was a little hard to believe. And there were times while I was setting it up that I thought, man, this is a lot of work. But it's come to fruition. Along the way, I've learned a lot of lessons, and I'm still learning lessons. Like the motto of the channel, right? I'll always be learning. I'll give you an update of the fish room and also tell you something that I'm starting to realize as I start to shift from, or not shift, but really include planted tanks in the mix, along with my my babies here, these big beasts. So let's get into that right now. When I was in college, I used to play tennis recreationally. Every now and then we'd go and play racquetball. And if you played racquetball and then went back to tennis, your tennis game was completely screwed because they're very, very different. And I'm experiencing the same thing with moving back and forth between large cichlids and a planted tank. With large cichlids, you're going to be doing large water changes. And you don't need that with this kind of a tank. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to be doing top-offs and giving it vitamins for the plants, but I'm not going to be doing the larger water changes like I would do with the cichlids, because these plants, they need that ammonia, they need the nitrates, and they're going to be doing some of the lifting, some of the work in keeping this tank the way I want it to be looking. Whereas with fish like these here, yeah, you've got to do your 30-40% water changes because they need it. They need that water change. And definitely these guys here, they eat a lot, and when you put that much food into the tank, they're going to be producing a lot of waste, a lot of ammonia, and because of that, you're going to want to do your big water changes. So it's a very different gear, shifting from a completely unplanted large cichlid tank to a planted tank that is, full of community fish. As some of you know, I returned the Buccochromis, this Rhodesii yellow that's back there. Beautiful fish. If you'll come up to the front, there he is. There he is. Not this big trout, but the Buccochromis. He was being really aggressive and going after my Otopharynx tetrastigma right here. And I put him in another tank for a few weeks and then put him back, and now he's leaving the Otopharynx alone. And it's not because of a timeout. I don't think timeouts work normally. But in this case, what happened is the Otopharynx was able to settle in and sort of get his swagger back. As you know, he's missing a right eye. He lost that to an infection a while back. Almost died on me a couple times and just bounced back. He's just a tough old fish. Really love that guy, don't want to lose him. The tank is doing great. It's due for a water change. I did a maintenance on the sump. This sump down here got a maintenance, and by maintenance what I mean is the sponges were pulled out and rinsed off. Rinsed and then put back in. It's got a couple socks in there. I even keep some media in that first chamber that I can then use immediately for other tanks. And down here in the bottom, you'll notice there's a heater down there. There's a heater in that bottom chamber. And then there's some pinky floss over here. Not sure if you can make it out. And then there's a real powerful Shisei 9.0 pump, pumping the water back. But man, it really cleaned up the tank. The tank is like crystal clear, pristine. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Sun 704B that's running under it, and just to see if that pre-filter, you can see the pre-filter in the back there. Let's see if that pre-filter is really making a difference with the Sun, like it did with the with my FX6, my Fluval FX6. Because of that pre-filter, I can run that Fluval for 9 months. But it's been about 5 months. I'm going to crack open that Sun. So watch for that video. That's going to be coming up very shortly. Oscars are looking great. Little fire mouth. Beautiful female Salvini. Was calling her Sal. Then I realized it was a female Jack Dempsey back there guarding his rock. Nicaragua. This tank right now is a split 55. It's empty. Nobody in it, but I did put the two heaters from Aquarium Co-op in there. There's one here, and there's one over here on this side behind the internal filter, the Expertmatic. You can't see it. You can see it from this angle. It's back there, and they're both registering 79 degrees. They're being run through a two-prong extension into a controller. And the same thing is going on this side. I've got two Aquarium Co-op heaters, and they're being run with a controller with a heavy-duty extension cord into the controller. I've moved the cherry barbs that were in the live bear tank, as well as that little ember. They've been moved in here. So we got 3 cherry barbs in here and a little ember. I also brought the rasboras. The rasboras are now all in this tank and looking good. A little bit of a melt back there. You can see there a little bit of the plants adjusting to the new tank. Overall, I'm happy with how they're holding up. I do want to add some more plants. There's that big, beautiful snail back there in the corner, that pagoda snail back there. And there's the whiptail. You can see the whiptail back there. Hardly ever comes out. But they're all doing great. And I showed you this tank already. I'll show it to you with a little more light. I'm running this heater all the time now because it's 0. It's actually freezing outside. It's about 29 degrees right now. So couldn't even open up my car. It was frozen solid. So this is now truly an all live bear tank, except for the little catfish down there. Got a couple little cories in here. And I might throw up maybe some of those baby plecos in here. But this is a little live bear 20-gallon tank I picked up from the glass cages. This 29 here is empty and ready for quarantine or hospital or whatever I might want to use it for. There are some pagoda snails in there. These are all the babies of that big pagoda. And there's a pagoda in here too, as well as a nearite. There's a pagoda right there. All of them from that one big pagoda. I've decided to go ahead and get this guy a couple female lyre-tail mollies and bring them in and let him stay in this little tank with maybe 2 or 3 females for just a few weeks see how they get along, and then maybe a month as sort of a quarantine and also breeding project, and then transfer them over to the 20-gallon tall. As you can see, I've got a co-op heater in there, as well as a co-op heater here, and there's a co-op heater back here. I love that I never have to wonder if they're heating, because if they're heating, the red light is on. I never have to wonder what the temperature is. No guessing with those heaters. So I'm learning and adapting different styles of fish keeping depending on what type of fish, and it's definitely a learning experience to get into a tank like this one here. So there you have it. Certainly share your thoughts, comments, tips below, and I will get to them. I get to most of them if I can, and I hope to see you on Saturday at the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. Great group of fish keepers get together for an hour on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Central. If you would like to support this channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and thumbs up and bell, and we're getting close to 50,000. It's getting pretty exciting around here. And also, if you'd like to support the channel further, consider becoming a monthly supporter by joining the Garage Gang and becoming a monthly Patreon channel supporter. Starts for as little as $3 a month. Thank you, my friends, for tuning in. You are very appreciated, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.